For live events, USA Sports.
Pain has a memory. Pride has a purpose. The rivalry between Love Austin and Love Atlanta ignited last season.
Austin reverse sweep win.
But this season, the fire has spread.
This one is over in favor of Austin.
Eva Hudson getting the match-winning kill. Her team's first win of the season.
This matchup is personal.
What a rivalry you're seeing right here.
Mackenzie Adams in Love Atlanta chasing redemption.
We fight like nobody's business. We will go to war for each other.
Madisen Skinner in Love Austin defending their crown.
Austin does it.
Atlanta versus Austin, the game of the week on USA Sports. You're watching League One Volleyball Game of the Week live from Austin, Texas. Love Atlanta in town, looking for redemption, and this rivalry has grown. Mackenzie Adams leading the way on the outside for Atlanta, facing off with a huge right side and Madisen Skinner, the Austin bred outside. And this has become one of the best rivalries. Both these teams have beaten each other once and also lost once. Now, don't let the standings fool you. Atlanta has won one match this season, but they are on the cusp of greatness. They have a fast offense, just need to make things click towards the end. Austin won it all last season, looking for that again in season 2. As we welcome you in alongside two-time Olympic medalist Courtney Thompson, I'm Shelby Coppage. Courtney, what does Atlanta have to do to take down Austin and get that second win?
Yeah, it is deflating as an athlete to start 1-4 in your season. I'm so impressed with how Atlanta has responded, and they're staying out of narratives. They've committed to getting better one day at a time, and tonight they got to serve it in tough down the stretch. So 20 points and on. Can they keep the service pressure? Can they get kills to close out sets and win the match?
Atlanta also going to look to right side Tessa Grubbs, one of the best hitters in League One.
Yeah, Tessa Grubbs had a big role last year, but it is a whole different thing when you kind of have the mental load of being the go-to hitter. And I think as she becomes more comfortable in that leadership role, this team is just going to get better and better.
Here's a look at your Adidas lineup, and setting these hitters is going to be Rachel Fairbanks, something to look out for. Eva Hudson back in the lineup after being in and out a few times. And these hitters are going to be facing one of the best blockers in Austin, Asjia O'Neal.
Yeah, Asjia O'Neal is really the competitive engine for Love Austin. She had an amazing offseason and committed to getting better every day. And she came in ready mentally, physically, and emotionally. She gets it done. She is the slide queen, as we like to say. Also just such a threat as a blocker, leading the team defensively.
Here's the Adidas starting lineup for Love Austin. Molly McCage in the lineup. Bria O'Reilly will be studying these players. And here is our Chase scouting report for tonight.
Yeah, Austin really for tonight, they need to serve tough. They need these spicy serves to take Atlanta out of their rhythm. Atlanta runs a fast offense, so for them to take it to the next level, they got to keep that pressure on. And for Atlanta, man, they're looking to blow the roof off. They're right under where they want to be. And as soon as they get to this threshold and get comfortable and can close out sets, they can beat anyone in the season.
Paulo Coco on your screen. Very emotional coach, really relates to his players. Been a great addition amongst the Love coaches, facing off with Eric Sullivan for Love Austin.
These two of the best in the world to do it. Very different styles. You'll see a lot of emotion from Paulo Coco, two-time gold medal winner for Brazil as an assistant, and Eric Sullivan, the calm, cool, and collected head coach for the USA team. Currently, he's a two-time Olympian himself. He's done it all and is leading this crew to be creative, to compete every single day, and Austin's on a mission to find out how good they can be this season.
Yeah, Austin and Atlanta kind of have similar challenges with streaking really hot, having great hits, but then going on errors and letting other teams go on runs. So interested to see how that plays out here tonight.
Absolutely. Love Austin just a little more veteran. They're a little more comfortable in these charge moments. So when it's 23-all, they've seemed to show up with a little bit more urgency, execution. Madisen Skinner leading that charge. Love MVP last season.
And these teams have, again, taken one match off of each other. Eva Hudson had the match-winning kill for her team in their first win. She didn't play too much in their opening match, but when she played, she made that opportunity count. Someone else who did that, Mackenzie Adams, who has the service ball right now, 13 for Atlanta, was the best outside in League One last year. Topspin serve, and she aces, not just the first serve, but aces Zoe Jarvis, one of the best passers.
Yeah, Zoe Jarvis, a real learner of the game. Mackenzie Adams with the jump serve. Puts a lot of pressure on this passing line, and really the jump serve is meant to just overpower the passers on the other side.
So goes back to Jarvis, aces her again. How confident does Mackenzie Adams have to be to go back to Zoe Jarvis?
It's a pretty great start. You'll see this, she's overpowering, committed to going at Zoe Jarvis, who hasn't started many matches this season, so a nice aggressive strategy for Love Atlanta to start.
Thompson again, does she go to Jarvis for the third time? She takes the error. That's a pretty good ratio, 2 aces to 1 error.
Absolutely, makes that jump serve so effective. Typically the errors are higher than a jump float, but because of those aces, it's worth it.
Bri O'Reilly, the setter for Austin. Tia Jimerson coming in for the slide, and she gets the kill. Again, that's where the middle blocker runs behind the setter.
Tia Jimerson and Bose, don't let her fool you. She's one of the most competitive. Played at A5 Gwinnett from Georgia, hometown hero for Love Atlanta.
Serving Logan Eggleston. Molly McCage getting Atlanta out of system. Eggleston setting this one over out to Hudson for the second time, and she gets the kill.
Will be fun to see the impact that Eva Hudson brings. Again, Atlanta won in the match that she was playing in. Fresh off her college season, played at Kentucky, had an amazing, amazing career. Quick hop over to the pros.
Yeah, not much time off, especially when you said playing in the Natty. Fell short to Texas A&M, but still an amazing experience. That ball goes out, so kill for Madisen Skinner. Eva Hudson just protecting the moneymaker, but not able to keep that ball in.
Madisen Skinner, 6'2", but one of the most explosive athletes for League One volleyball. He's got that 40-inch vertical.
Logan Eggleston already getting Atlanta out of system and getting this free ball. Molly McCage running in for the 1, and Atlanta gets called in the net. So that has to be one of those examples of Atlanta just giving up these errors that they don't have to.
Yeah, and we've seen it in time and time again this season so far versus Austin and other. Just a lot of unforced errors, if you will.
Eggleston at the service line. Adams absorbing that ball perfectly. Out to Banks. Austin on the roll. So Logan Banks, 33 in purple, will keep the ball at the service line. She leads League One in aces, and she's also one of the biggest targets in serve receive. So she controls what she can. Back to Tessa Grubbs. McCage getting the last second block. Hudson beating out Molly McCage at the front and Zoe Jarvis at the back.
Love Atlanta playing with a lot of speed there. It's one of the things that Austin was hoping to disrupt, both from the service line.
Eggleston again picked on serve receive. So Hudson again going off the hands of the block. Back to Skinner, right down the line. Pinoy keeping that one alive. That point's going to Austin. That was a tool, so that means the hitter hits in the blocker's hands, the blocker hits it out.
Great all-around point. You talked about Logan Eggleston. Talked to her early this week. She said, you know, I know that I'm gonna get almost every single serve, and I'm here for it. I'm gonna do my best and also just try to do what I do best, and that's kill the ball.
Eggleston coming in from the back, getting the big kill.
And there it is. We talked about with Tessa Grubbs kind of this idea of the mental load, and for all the moms watching, I think it's something different when you know if you don't get it done, it's gonna fall to the pieces. And for her team, she's carrying that load of passing and also getting a lot of tough swings.
Molly McCage getting the ace. The Austin bench is loving it, and it just drops over the net. Her head coach Eric Sullivan said, "I've challenged my players every day in practice to start serving short." He said, "We didn't do it much in college at University of Texas. It's something new we're trying." Hudson hitting on the right side. Skinner. Block and not close, and she goes right through the split.
Madisen Skinner getting off to a good rhythm here with Bri O'Reilly. You'll see her approach, she's slow to fast, so it allows her to be so explosive towards the end of that approach. Allows her to get a lot of power on the ball consistently.
Out to Hudson, getting a lot of chances right now, and a kill.
And that's quintessential Love Atlanta. They're playing so fast. If they can continue to pass well in set one and keep this momentum, they're gonna be able to put a lot of pressure on Austin.
Outside of Maddie Banks, this ball kept alive by Eva Hudson. Mackenzie Adams talked about her all open, getting the tip over. Big kill through the middle, Ofebu.
Ofebu getting the start tonight. Hasn't got too much court time this year. She competed at Oregon. She's an really athletic middle. She's young middle, has been learning a ton from Paulo Coco.
Asjia O'Neal with the jam. Not the hardest hit, but definitely a smart one. Madisen Skinner at the service line. This is a stacked back row. Her and Logan Eggleston can definitely hit from behind the 10-foot line. Adams. Eggleston keeping this one alive thanks to Madisen Skinner. The three coming in. Ofebu so quick with the attack.
Great range, great availability by number 11, Ofebu for Love Atlanta. And this is one of the keys for Atlanta. They're gonna have to have a balanced approach. They are good because they run fast. And if the block isn't sure who's gonna get it, that speed, it feels like it almost doubles. And Austin talked a lot about, hey, you can know they're going fast, but it's still really hard to stop. A little bit like a good run game in football. You know it's coming, and it's still really challenging to stop.
Like the football, considering it's Super Bowl week. Ew. Have a player that loves a good spiral. We'll talk about that later. Tessa Grubbs getting the point for her team. Doesn't matter how it looks, just matters if you get the kill.
That's
Courtney.
right, sometimes you gotta take the easy ones.
Tessa Grubbs at the service line. She is also a back row threat. Can hit from all 6 rotations. Slide Queen coming in, Asjia O'Neal. And that nickname comes from the University of Texas when she continued to get the kills off the slide.
That is so hard to stop. She does such a good job of the depth, and she stays so far from the net that set is in front of her, and her vision on that slide. She can hit almost anywhere because she can see where the open spots are.
Mackenzie Adams trying to stop Austin from going on any kind of run, going through the block. Short set release, speeding up that footwork, and now she's at the service line. She had 2 aces against Zoe Jarvis last rotation to open up the match. You couldn't start a game any better than how she did. Topspin. Going for Banks this time. Out to Eggleston, ball kept alive perfectly. Eggleston having to hurry up that arm swing. Does that ball land in? And it doesn't. Strong swing, but a little too strong. Puts the ball back in Mackenzie Adams' hands. Her head coach, Paulo Coco, liking that call. Topspin again. Zoe Jarvis, this time to 3-option pass. Skinner flying in from the back and getting the tool off Tia Jimerson from behind the 10-foot line. A huge start for both teams. We are neck and neck. Austin taking the 1-point lead early in the first set. It's Austin versus Atlanta, USA Sports Game of the Week. It doesn't work. No, it's not. Skims, the official loungewear, intimates, and sleepwear partner of Love. Well, we are also celebrating many Love expected to be mothers. It's a great time to be a mom in sports. Speaking of National Women in Sports Day, here are some Love athletes who are expecting, Courtney.
That's right. Kelsey Robinson-Cook, Justine Wong-Arantes, Annie Drews, all gold medalists, and of course Danny Drews from Love Salt Lake. And it is so cool. You know, there was a time where you had to choose, am I going to try to be the best in the world as an athlete or a mom? And these athletes are changing the narrative and really able to do both, which is incredibly inspiring and empowering.
Austin has a few moms on the team, their kids in the stands.
That's right. Julianne Fawcett, one of those. She's got 3 of her own as a single mom, and we were talking about how special it is to be a part of League One volleyball, and this league is really committed to not just supporting moms, but really celebrating them in every single way. And she made it known today, you know, it's cool, but it's also really hard. Props to those guys.
It sounds hard being a mom, much less as a pro athlete. Congrats to Julianne Fawcett and Carly Lloyd. Skinner off the hands of Tia Jimerson, and she tools her again. What adjustments does Tia need to make on the block?
Yeah, that one I think maybe got Eva Hudson, and really the ball knows angles. So if your hands are pointed towards the court, that's where it's gonna go. So you're making a move going one direction. Sometimes your arms have to face the other, which is easier said than done.
Jarvis saving Maddie Banks. Eggleston. Oh, Mackenzie Adams just saving Peanut Pinoy. It's gonna be a free ball though for Austin. Skinner finally getting that ball down with the tip.
Austin, you can just feel them kind of starting to click in here. One of the things they do so well, though, is that step close. The last 2 steps of their approach are aggressive, it's fast, helps them have a lot of range and vision. Looks like we've got a challenge from Love Atlanta. Maybe that they got that ball up. Oh, there we go. We got a pancake here from Peanut Pinoy, one of the best liberos from Thailand. Looks like that got the floor. Almost a pancake. Half stack. Not quite enough.
So Bria O'Reilly at the service line. Again, Paulo Coco, head coach for Atlanta, said that we cannot let errors get in the way of us. And Eric Sullivan, head coach for Austin, said the same thing. He said we start out really hot and then we just start to kill ourselves towards the end.
Yeah, and it's volleyball's such a momentum game. It really is who can execute down the stretch. And that's what toughness, that's what leadership is. Can you play your game in these moments when there's a lot on the line?
What a dig from Zoe Jarvis. That's what we're used to seeing, just like that kill from Maddie Skinner.
There we go. Zoe Jarvis, she's such an energizer on this team. We talked about her being a great learner, right? She's gritty, she loves to play defense, she's so fun to watch. She runs camps and clinics all year long, really loves to give back to the next generation, and fun to see her on the court tonight.
How she gets her platform perfectly under the ball. It's crazy. Eva Hudson, though, cutting that ball around Molly McCage, one of the best blockers in League One.
If Atlanta wants to come back in set 1, they're going to have to do this a lot. Can they create opportunities, digs off the net so they can take tough swings in transition? In transitions, anytime you're hitting off of a dig.
Tia Jimerson serving that ball a little too deep, putting Austin just 1 point closer to the red zone.
And Austin's getting there up to 20, and this is when Atlanta hasn't been good down the stretch. We've talked about it. I just feel like if they have this breakout moment, they're just gonna ride this thing, and they're gonna switch on and be really tough to beat. They just haven't been able to be consistent enough yet.
Off the hands of the block. Atlanta getting the kill on the right side.
Ivani Montano in, we got a double sub. Number 18 in is an opposite, LMA Powell, fellow UW Husky, in to set for Love Atlanta. Paulo Coco trying to change up the momentum here.
So Austin called into the net on that one. Going to be Atlanta's point.
Maddie Banks, 6'3" outside for Love Austin, has been a really steady force for them this season. She came from Love, Nebraska in season 1, here for season 2.
Topspin, Logan Eggleston handles it flawlessly, leading into the offense attack. That fast tempo offense ran through Molly McCage.
Molly McCage, just a true pro. You know, she talked this week about how much fun she's having with this group and how refreshing it is to just be where her feet are, get to compete at the highest level.
Eva Hudson thinking she's gonna kill it, and she tips it over O'Neal. Outside of Hudson again. This time she goes with the high hands, beating out Asjia O'Neal. Eva Hudson, such a competitor. She had not even a month off, played in the national championship for Kentucky against Texas A&M. Her team did get swept, but then goes right to Atlanta, and yes, is a pro. O'Neal. Overpass to Skinner, but Mackenzie Adams blocks her right at the net, denying the kill.
Mackenzie Adams just locked in here. She shows she's gonna take line and drops in. It's like that half moon move. That is so tough to read.
That's the energy from Adams we're used to seeing. Outside to Adams. Jarvis, great dig, great read. Back row attack from Hudson, and she defends herself. The defense for Atlanta is on fire right now. But you can only defend Madisen Skinner so many times.
Just see the fire. So many good digs on both sides of the net. That's a high-level rally. We're out of system. Both teams getting it done. But this is when Austin has pulled away, and we're seeing it now. For them, it's, hey, how good can we be down the stretch? Can they stay crisp?
Jarvis, again, getting everything up right now. Outside to Banks. That puts Austin at the red zone mark, the 20-point mark in every set. It's gonna be a timeout called. We're gonna listen into Atlanta's huddle, see what Paulo Coco has to say.
Next, Maddie Banks, go 6-1. Good defense here. Just pay attention when you receive the ball. Free ball, down ball, a little higher. Have time to have a good transition, okay? If you have no space, chip on 2. All the time Skinner go inside the block. Gonna go behind her, go for 2. No, it's not ball. Push the ball on the setter. You have time to put a good block. Now strong on the transition. Go.
Paulo Coco, one of the best teachers in the game, telling his team, hey, Maddie Banks is gonna hit to 1 or 6. This is likely the scouting report just reminding them. And on a free ball, they don't need to rush. So if they get a free ball, pass it nice and high so the hitters have time to get off the net, get that full approach. And if they need to tip, look for them to tip to Maddie Skinner so it takes her out of her rhythm offensively.
Skinner at the service line, going with that short serve that Austin's been working on. Adams into the block, and O'Reilly gets it down.
So Atlanta making that double sub change again. It is, you know, they're really trying to get this momentum turned around, and it's a big deal if you get that first set win. You start to build that confidence in these tougher moments. It's one thing to be tough in practice. It's a whole nother to do it when there's thousands of people watching a game on the line.
Tight pass out to Adams, and she beats out Logan Eggleston at the line. So Mackenzie Adams keeping her team alive in set 1.
Number 15 for Love Atlanta, Magda Yelarova, in one of the middle blockers, also a really great server.
Big play for Austin. That ball's called out.
Slide queen in to do it down the stretch. I think that one got in. Austin serving again. Quintessential Austin volleyball right now. Just finding a way to get kills in the red zone.
Tessa Grubbs pulled inside. Pushed out to Eggleston. There's a lot of block on her though. Again, Tessa Grubbs is all over Eggleston, teed up with Tia Jimerson.
Woohoo! That'll fire you up. Tessa Grubbs putting up an absolute wall on that ball. And these are the plays. You know, they have a long way to go to win set one, but if nothing else, can they get some momentum moving forward?
Tessa Grubbs at the service line has just 1 point so far, a little quiet. Mackenzie Adams has 5 points. So that set was really out of system. Asjia O'Neal trying to go for the slide right there.
Yeah, Bri O'Reilly, one thing that makes her special is she's strong and can fling it around from anywhere. That one got away from her. One of the sets you probably want back.
Let's see where Bri O'Reilly goes this next play. Where would you go?
I'm going back to the slide queen.
But first, got to get a pass. Tessa Grubbs getting the ace. A little help from the net. Eric Sullivan, head coach of Austin, is going to call a timeout on that one. We're going to listen into the huddle.
Make sure we're protecting that. Here we go.
Eric Sullivan briefly telling his team, hey, protect against that net serve. We got to be ready. So if the setter's at the net or that opposite is close, we're going to be ready for that. And Rob Browning telling, hey, this is what's to come in this rotation. Atlanta is going to have a slide, which is that where the middle goes behind the setter, a go, that fastball to the left side hitter, and then a bick is in the middle of the court in the back row. In transition, they're likely to see that. If I'm Bri O'Reilly here, I'm going to slide queen. I'm going to my go-to hitter, probably the slide queen or Madisen Skinner out of the back row.
And Madisen Skinner out of the back row it is. Getting Austin a 23 here in the first set.
And when in doubt, you're going to go to your go-to player. She was the MVP season 1. She's shown up as a point leader here for Austin over and over again.
O'Neal off the net, but Hudson keeps it alive. And O'Neal gets the dig. Logan Eggleston just a little too strong and wide. This is much closer in the set than the last time these two teams faced one another.
That's right, in Atlanta here, a good row. Mackenzie Adams has gotten some aces here on Zoe Jarvis.
Adams at the service line with the top spin. Right to Jarvis, but this time Zoe passes flawlessly. Back row attack from Tessa Grubbs, bringing all the energy, getting her 4th point.
Just the locked in focus. This is the key for Love Atlanta. Can they keep making plays? And when you show up and execute what you do best in these big moments, that's how you become a tough team. That's how you lead your team. Tessa Grubbs getting it done.
Kinsey Adams picking on Banks. Logan Eggleston getting her team out of trouble and putting them at set point.
Such a great response by Eggleston. Crowd loving it.
Crowd's on their feet. Bri O'Reilly, ball in hand. So she'll be setting back row this rotation, going for that short serve again. Outside to Hudson. Madisen Skinner sticking out the tongue, getting the set-winning block right on Eva Hudson. Austin takes set 1, protecting their home court here in Cedar Park, Texas, taking on what's become one of the best rivals in League One volleyball. Atlanta just down 3 points in that first set. They're ready for set 2. Love Atlanta dropped the first set, but Tessa Grubbs coming in with many kills for the team.
We're gonna see what makes her so special. You'll see her shoulders are facing this direction, and she swings her arm cross body, so it's a sharp angle. And this is why it's tricky. This ball, her shoulders, hips are facing the same direction, and she contorts her arm to go wrist away, that thumb pointed down, so she hits a totally different direction, and it's what makes her so lethal, is that you just can never tell where she's gonna go. And the more you look the same as a hitter and hit it in a different spot, the harder it is to defend.
So 2 kills for Tessa Grubbs and a block and an ace, which are good numbers, but for her, we're used to seeing a lot more points on the board. You can tell Love Austin's really committing to blocking on her and almost cheating whenever she's on the right side.
Yeah, it's one of the things they talked about. Hey, we need to find a way to slow down or even stop Tessa Grubbs. A huge focus for Austin, along with serving really aggressively tonight.
Bri O'Reilly at the service line, so she'll be setting back row for 3 rotations. Can't jump at the net. Stunned silence. What is there to even say about that hit from Ofebu?
That is nasty. That is an absolute massacre of a ball right there. Ofebu, when she connects, man, they're so tough to stop. I would not be surprised to see Fairbanks going back to her.
Okay, well, Ofebu missed that one, but we don't even care. That last hit was so awesome. Courtney and I looked at each other, just shocked.
It's all that adrenaline. Getting a start tonight. She's all kinds of fired up after that kill.
Getting some words of advice from our head coach, Paulo Coco. Logan Eggleston up to serve for Austin. Back to Grubbs. She beats out the block and gets the touch on Zoe Jarvis.
That set coming a little bit off the net. One of the things that Grubbs is so good at is adjusting, even with a fast offense. Great hitters make every set a little bit better. And for us setters out there, we love that.
Tessa Grubbs at the service line. She can still hit back row. So Molly McCage wants to test out Tessa for her digs. Big hit by McCage.
Molly McCage, you know, a standout middle, a great leader for this team. For both sides of the net, when you're running about 30% of your offense through the middle of the court, so either through the middle in the front row or the BIC in the back row, you're gonna have a pretty successful offense.
Mackenzie Adams looking like her normal self in this match. Six points for her so far. Top spin by Adams. Again, started off the first set with 2 aces. Madisen Skinner running right into our table right here, going for the ball. That's gonna be the 3rd ace of the night for Mackenzie Adams.
Yeah, Adams against Love Austin in the same rotation, so she's seeing the same passing lane that she had success in. You'll see Austin's pulling back Madisen Skinner to help with this jump serve because it's so powerful.
So Mackenzie Adams hit the net, it's in the net. But there were 4 passers ready for her. That's
right.
how lethal she's been at the service line.
For Atlanta, I don't think there's any moral victories. You know, they played a little bit better towards the end. Not as many errors, but Austin just outperformed them, out-executed in the stretch. And Atlanta is so close to breaking out. I don't think they'll be happy until they come away with some of those wins.
Good pass by Adams. Just a little too wide by Magda. That's going to be another point for Austin off an Atlanta error.
Yelarova, number 15 for Atlanta, has had a great season so far. She's the NCAA leader in blocks. 769 in her career as a 4-time All-American from Washington State.
Ball kept alive and it's tight, but blocked by Atlanta. Block slowing down the ball again, and Rachel Fairbanks calls her own number, getting the kill for Atlanta.
Rachel Fairbanks, number 10, up and coming, one of the best setters to do it. Of course, an Olympic hopeful, had a great career at Pitt. We call this a setter dump. Often with 2 hitters, that setter is front row, so it just puts a little more pressure on the defense when the setter is an offensive weapon as well.
There's your slide queen, Asjia O'Neal, running behind Bri O'Reilly, beating out the block and the back row attack. I know she told you today that her old head coach of Texas, Jared Elliott, dubbed her the slide queen.
And the Royal Highness is in the building tonight, getting it done.
LOVB again continuing to get kills all throughout the net.
And again, the more that Fairbanks, the setter for Love Atlanta, can feed the middle of the court, LOVB is such a threat offensively, the harder it is for Austin to defend the pins, Tessa Grubbs, Eva Hudson. So they really want to keep their offense balanced.
Slide Queen coming in again. It's kept alive. Eva Hudson rolling over to the line. Slide Queen again for the third time in the row, getting another kill.
Again, a great move by Asjia O'Neal. Just see in transition, she gets so deep past the 10-foot line. It allows her to, again, keep that vision, and Bri O'Reilly doing a nice job of keeping that ball in front of her, keeping the other side guessing. A lot of space for the Slide Queen to hit.
Bouncing balls, LOVB hitting almost in front of the 10-foot line.
LOVB putting on a clinic right now. This is how to set a gap, 31-101. That's a play where the middle runs a little bit far from the setter. It's probably the hardest set in volleyball because it happens so fast. There's not a lot of room for error.
LOVB not only silencing Courtney and I, but the entire Austin gym of fans. And we're gonna have a challenge right here. Logan Eggleston went for this cut shot. Austin thinks it's in, Atlanta thinks it's out. Tessa Grubbs for Atlanta, number 17, looked pretty confident that that ball was out. Eric Sullivan taking this.
Referee challenge for ball in or out.
So regardless of who wins the challenge, taking this moment as a timeout for their teams. What do you think, Courtney? In or out? I thought it was in. First look.
Oh, that, I see some purple. I think that might be out.
Out. I'm gonna say it's out.
Yeah.
Look at the shadow.
And Logan Eggleston does such a great job of hitting edges, high hands, looking for the edge of the court. These are the balls that are tough to defend, but I think it was a little long.
But regardless, that's a great miss. As it is called a miss, that ball is going to be Atlanta's point. There's good errors, there's bad errors. When you miss by an inch that deep, that's a great error.
As a setter, I always like to repeat. So if a hitter hit out just by a little bit, I like to set her the next ball.
And let's see if Eggleston gets it. Madisen Skinner flying in from the back row. McCage coming in for the slide. That ball falls right in front of LOVB's face. Kill for McCage. Bri O'Reilly at the service line, so she's a back row setter, which means no setter dumps for her, at least when she jumps. Kept alive somehow. Zoe Jarvis attempts for the pancake, but she even nods, no, that was down.
Such great hustle. She was there in plenty of time. Just looks like she didn't quite get her hand under that. And that's what a pancake is. You keep your hand flat on the ground and just try to have the ball hit the top of the palm of your hand.
5 digs so far for Jarvis. And one ace again for LOVB, just barely hitting the net.
LOVB kind of working herself into this. She had some big misses from the service line, which is not uncommon for middles. No offense to the middles listening. But she's slowly working herself into this game. And for Atlanta right now, again, we're almost halfway through set 2, and they're just looking to keep the momentum, keep the pressure on. Can they continue to execute regardless of what's happening on the other side?
Molly McCage not able to block that ball from Yelarova.
Yeah, number 15 for Atlanta, Magda. She's been so consistent. I feel like all great teams have one really steady, consistent middle, and as a personality and as an athlete, she just, you know how she's gonna show up, and that's so valuable to a team.
Tessa Grubbs going a little too deep, but Atlanta's still maintaining the lead here in the second set. Again, League One volleyball. Game of the week on USA Sports. Molly McCage at the service line. Outside of Mackenzie Adams. No purple jersey near getting that ball up. Atlanta holding on to the lead here in the second set. Austin took the first one, but Atlanta responding immediately here in the second. Atlanta holding on to the lead in the second set. Big part of that. Mackenzie Adams at the service line.
Yeah, Atlanta's needing to put a lot of pressure on Austin. Austin's such a physical team that in order to get them in trouble, to reduce the pressure, you just gotta get them out of system, not passing well. And on the reverse side, you know, Love Austin has no aces so far, no errors, excuse me. And sometimes that's good, but also it might be a sign that you're not serving tough enough. And Atlanta has been passing well. They've been in system with 3 options as hitters. They're running fast. So if Austin is looking to come back in set 2, they're gonna have to step up the serving pressure.
Tops in by Adams. Jarvis handles that one. Back to Tessa Grubbs. Tight dig from Morgan Eggleston. Great defense from Atlanta. Maddie Banks off the hands. Can Atlanta keep this ball in? It's a free ball for Austin. Asjia O'Neal coming in and finally puts that ball down.
Just so much hustle from Atlanta. You see, they're being gritty, they're resilient, and this is what Paulo Coco talked about. Hey, we've stayed steady. We're working to just get better, and Pinoy is doing a great job keeping her team in this thing, giving them chances. One of the best defenders in the world. Libero for Thailand.
Zoe Jarvis, how did she keep that alive? Rachel Fairbanks defending her side of the net, but great defense attempt by Austin. Looking at Pinoy on your screen for Love Atlanta. Libero for the national team of Thailand, one of the best defenders in the entire world. Maddie Banks goes down the line. That's good.
Great response by Maddie Banks, and this is one thing that sets her apart. She doesn't get rattled from errors, and volleyball is a lot like life. It's a game of errors, and so much of the great athletes, what makes them great is how they respond, how they stay present one play at a time.
Big block from O'Neal. Logan Eggleston has to tip this one. O'Reilly gonna find the slide queen. Another kill off Bri O'Reilly going to Asjia O'Neal's slide.
And you can feel the momentum shift. Asjia O'Neal working hard in transition, but this is where Austin has taken over in the last matchup, and this is where Atlanta hasn't been able to respond. So can they stay in it and execute?
6 points for Asjia O'Neal. Eggleston. Outside to Eva Hudson, perfect block by Bri O'Reilly. Hudson again. Perfect pass for Fairbanks. She goes back to Tessa Grubbs. And this call is gonna be on Tessa Grubbs. They're saying that her foot crossed the 10-foot line, and you gotta stay behind that when you're a back row attacker.
You do, and these are the unforced errors Paulo Coco is hoping his team gets out of their system, can move on from. They just kill you when you're playing a team as good and as talented as Love Austin.
Maddie Banks taking the service error. So Rachel Fairbanks, 10 for Atlanta, is gonna serve. That's gonna put this setter in back row. So she already has a couple jumps. She can't do that jumping anymore since she's a back row player. Eggleston, and back in transition, gets the point. So not the best pass, but pops out, ready for the kill, and gets the point.
That is such a big time swing from number 33, Logan Eggleston. That set is inside, and she does such a good job of getting her feet there so she can get all the way there, jump high, take advantage, and hit those high hands.
Ofebu again, beating out all the defense for Austin.
And as Atlanta goes here, if they continue to pass well, that middle blocker for Austin is now fronting Ofebu because she's gotten so many sets. So they're moving in front of her, which means there's a lot of gap there when they set the opposite.
Mackenzie Adams tipping right over. Perfect vision. No purple jerseys anywhere in that middle court. Mackenzie Adams leading her team in kills. She has 8 points. Back row attack, Madisen Skinner flying in. Eva Hudson using her body as a shield. Defense again for Atlanta. It's Eva Hudson for the second time. Outside to Eggleston. The defense for Atlanta at the front now. Atlanta, how are they keeping this ball alive? Finally, Logan Eggleston says enough is enough and puts that ball down.
Love Atlanta and Eva Hudson working so hard to keep this alive. What a great dig. They're getting opportunities. You can just feel Paulo Coco willing his team. Hang in there, hang in there. They're so close.
Yeah, not one angry face from Atlanta after that point. Very happy with their effort. Back to Grubbs. Madisen Skinner. Off the hands, Mackenzie Adams getting this ball. It's all on her reflexes.
Jeez.
LOVB silencing every person in the gym here in Austin, Texas. Eva Hudson loving that one from her teammate.
Oh man, what a rally. They're working so hard on each side, and this is just good volleyball. It's hard to keep up with a good setter running fast, so LOVB working so hard. Bea Negretti, standout libero from Italy, in as the defensive specialist. Has had a great impact on Love Atlanta and a veteran player.
Cage coming in. Atlanta's defense keeping this alive. Hudson just awkward footing, hitting into the net.
And that's one they're going to want back, and this is what Paulo Coco's talking about. There's these unforced errors down the stretch. Atlanta almost pulling away, you can kind of feel it, and then Eva Hudson not ready on that back row attack. Let's see how they respond.
Atlanta holding on to a 1-point lead here in the second set. Tipped over, Tessa Grubbs making that a 2-point lead.
For Austin right now, we've talked about this is more about them and can they play clean volleyball. And when they execute their offense, when they run with speed, when their hitters go slow to fast, they're just so tough to stop. They need to pass well here down the stretch.
Skinner rolls over. Yelarova gets the touch, but then that ball just drops behind her. Eric Sullivan talking to his team, trying to give clear instruction how to fix this moving forward.
Watch Fairbanks use Yelarova behind or Tessa Grubbs right now.
McCage saying this ball has to be in. Up ref calls it out. No challenge taken right here. Eric Sullivan does not want to risk this one.
I think that's okay. You know, they gotta disrupt Atlanta's offense, and the only way to do that is to serve a little bit tougher, and with that comes some errors. Just out by Logan Eggleston.
But then you have Mackenzie Adams at the service line. Austin does not want this player to go on a run.
Maddie Skinner back to pass, so they brought 4 passers back to deal with the powerful serve of Adams.
Huge serve, but Jarvis handles it. Madisen Skinner doesn't go out. It does. That's a huge play for Atlanta. It's going to be a timeout called by Eric Sullivan. Let's take a listen into the huddle.
Hey, just so everyone's hearing an off blocker, getting tips on Grubbs now, okay? On Grubbs.
Run that again, set that again. It's wide open. Great set. Ready to go for it?
Hey, let's fight this serve off here. Here we go.
If you ever played PE volleyball, it's kind of like see ball, go get ball. But at this level, Eric Sullivan is telling his team the defensive game plan. So instead of the back row defense taking a tip, if Tessa Grubbs does tip, they want the off blocker. So If Maddie Banks and Asjia O'Neal are blocking, that off blocker would be right side hitter, Madisen Skinner. Look for that to happen as Tessa Grubbs hits out of the back row here.
Atlanta first to the red zone, that 20-point mark. That's something they've struggled in all season long. Doing great in the second set. But Maddie Banks responds with a big kill on the left side.
And for Austin right now, they got to keep the service pressure on Atlanta, disrupt them. They're so good on the block that if they can get a bad pass from Atlanta, they can load up on the hitter, crush some dreams as they do so well. One of the more physical teams for Love.
Perfect pass to the Hudson. You would think Rachel Fairbanks takes advantage of it, but then she calls her own number for another kill.
Solid, a little two-handed dump from the setter. Steady Rachel Fairbanks goes up with two hands, so it looks like she's gonna set that thing and then dumps it over. We got the slide queen in the front row. In this moment, would not be surprised to see O'Reilly set Asjia O'Neal, or again, Madisen Skinner out of the back row.
Just like he called it, Asjia O'Neal. This ball's kept up by Atlanta. Tessa Grubbs goes into the block, but it's tooled. Another point for Tessa Grubbs, but it's gonna be called a challenge.
Challenging that pancake by the smirk on
Austin
Adams'
is
face.
challenging that there was a mid-rally floor touch.
I think that might have gotten some floor. But the way the ball bounced, it looks like it was up. Oh!
Come on, we need a good view.
That's a tough view.
Her arm's in the way. Oh, maybe this one. Ooh, that looks, oh, I don't know, Courtney.
Wow. I'm gonna call that a pancake.
I think that's a pancake.
I don't know if that's enough to be overturned.
Yeah, the crowd here in Austin is yelling because at the Jumbotron, they're also showing the pancake from Mackenzie Adams. Eric Sullivan getting a little animated over there. And the call is overturned. Mackenzie Adams is laughing it off, though. She almost got away with it.
And right now, Atlanta's looking to execute down the stretch. This is where they need to be a little tougher. Wouldn't be surprised to see Hudson or Grubbs get the ball here.
Dumped again. Rachel Fairbanks, her third kill of the match, and she's a setter.
I stand corrected. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. As a setter, Atlanta's passing well, so until they stop that, until they adjust accordingly, Fairbanks taking advantage.
Well, now Rachel Fairbanks in the back row, so she can't jump anymore and hit the ball over. Back row attack from Madisen Skinner into the hands of Ofebu. Ofebu hits it out. How crazy is it to get a tool hit from behind the 10-foot line? Just how hard she hits it.
It's impressive, that ball deflecting so far. Atlanta now with 3 hitters in the front row.
Grubbs tipping over this one.
It's great vision. Grubbs seeing the middle blocker, Asjia O'Neal, in to serve. Compared to a libero, a little bit, I don't know, not as easy on defense for the middle to make that play. Great read by Grubbs.
Outside to Eggleston, she hits in the block, but it's covered. Takes a little bit off, gets Atlanta out of system. Mackenzie Adams tries to make that ball drop line, but it's too strong. Oh, but the up ref is saying there's a touch. Eric Sullivan in all 6 purple jerseys waving their hands no. So we're gonna get another challenge. And again, if a coach wins a challenge, they get to keep that one. If they lose the challenge, they lose it.
Austin is challenging that there was no block touch.
That looks like a field goal to me.
Oh, come on. I see a huge
I think
touch.
it got her, yeah, okay. From this angle, I think it got that index finger. Good acting.
Hey, it doesn't matter what I think.
Right, Brie O'Reilly.
There's a touch. What do you think?
Yeah, now that I think there's a touch on that index finger.
The index finger.
The Super Bowl had me wanting to say field goal.
Hey, I like it. I'm always here for the crossover, especially Mackenzie Adams is hitting. She throws a mean spiral. Oh, and we are both wrong, Courtney. That's why we are not in the up ref seat. Eric Sullivan getting pumped up, playing his own game, getting the challenge.
A big swing from 24-20 to 23-21.
Pinoy. Grubbs tipping this ball over. That puts Atlanta at set point. What a second set it's been for Love Atlanta.
Great set by Fairbanks. That's the execution Atlanta needs. She'd set so many middles. Molly McCage is jumping with that middle. Give Tessa Grubbs some space.
Tori Jarvis with a three-option pass to Logan Eggleston. Tessa Grubbs beating out Molly McCage and Bree O'Reilly, taking the second set for Love Austin. This has turned into one of the biggest rivalries in League One volleyball. Huge response from Atlanta.
This is exactly what Love Atlanta wanted to see. They're able to just be themselves and do what they do in these moments with a lot on the line down the stretch, and they're putting a ton of pressure on Love Austin, and they're just in rhythm. They look calm, they look aggressive, they're not backing down from anything.
Where Skims, a moment of confidence, is definitely Ofebu really stepping up for Love Atlanta.
Oni Ofebu coming on with one of her first starts and just absolutely being a threat at the net, making the blockers from Love Austin pay attention, and she's not only getting kills, she's getting them in pretty solid fashion and settling in from the service line, putting more pressure on Austin as she gets more comfortable.
And now we're joined by Anya Ofebu. Anya, what's working for you when you're bouncing balls at the front like that?
I think our setters are doing a really good job of opening us up on the net, and just trying to make sure that I utilize those opportunities to score, especially because it's a tough game right now, so any chance we get, we got to take it.
Yeah, you're doing it in great fashion, Oni. What do you guys need to do to win this thing?
Service pressure, especially from me, but yeah, service pressure and good defense.
Amazing. Keep having fun out there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anya Ofebu staying focused here in Austin, Texas. Atlanta taking set 2 after losing set 1. It's tied up. We're basically back to 0-0. It's game of the week on USA Sports.
I feel that I get everything from coaching that I miss about playing, except the soreness. So it's kind of a win-win.
So were you the first libero?
Can't take it away.
Number 5, Eric Sullivan.
1997, the year after 96 Olympics, they kind of had an open tryout for the national team. So I went to that, and I think they ended up taking like 5 or 6 guys out of a couple hundred. Doug Beal at the time was the coach. He was very adamant about like, hey, just come out for a couple weeks and then we'll cut you. And I was like, hey, my wife and I are moving out there. We don't have a home. And he's like, no, just come out for a couple weeks. In 1998 World Championships, they changed, I think, 5 rules.
But some of the rules changes has made it more of an interesting sport.
Yes, both teams have the opportunity tonight to use what's called the libero player, which is a player who's basically a defensive specialist. He'll stay in the back row.
Get to 98 Worlds, I make that roster. From what I understand, I'm on the roster as an outside. The night before they had to submit the roster, they switched us. And so I was the first libero. And ended up one of the best defender at the tournament, and here I am.
One of the best stories. That was such a great featured team. And it's funny talking to Eric Sullivan this week. He said he was so mad when he was made libero because he wants to bounce balls and talk, as he says, chirp through the net. He says when he won the best libero award, though, he eventually fell in love with the defensive part. And it's funny because usually liberos are short. Eric Sullivan's 6'4". That just shows you the height on the men's side of the team. But you got to absolutely love it.
It is special, and I think for these Austin athletes, you know, they get to play for a coach who's been there, who's lived it, and just his ability to hold perspective in all of the inevitable ups and downs of a season and different team situations. It's so awesome that he's just been there.
Yeah, first libero ever. Pretty awesome to say. Like you said, can't take that away. Tessa Grubbs testing out any libero that crosses her way. Off the block, being at the back row.
It's going to be special for him and the 12 athletes selected for the LA Olympics to get to play and then compete as a head coach. Beautiful story.
Outside of Banks, slams this one down. The ball goes into the crowd. Off O'Neal, Bebu.
Number 4, Maddie Banks. Just steady Eddie, but she'll bring the heat every once in a while when she needs to. Big time swing by her.
So each team has won a set here in the match against Atlanta versus Austin. Outside to Grubbs, a little out of system. She tips this one over. Eva Hudson, the defense has been everywhere for her tonight. Banks right in the hands of Yelarova.
You just feel like Atlanta is taking control towards the end of that second set, and that's what they're working for. They're gonna need to continue to put the pressure on Love Austin and just not let up. Their defense has been, they're just hustling. It's been gritty. They've been resilient, and they've been steady. They don't look rattled in these moments towards the end of sets.
And 31 digs for Atlanta so far, 33 for Austin. The defense has been one of the most fun parts of this match to watch.
For Austin right now, they gotta bump up the service pressure. They've gone a little easy. Atlanta's been in rhythm. A lot of options for their setter over and over. The tougher Austin serves, the harder it is for Atlanta.
So Mackenzie Adams back at the service line again, started out the match. The first 2 points with 2 aces in a row off Zoe Jarvis, the Austin libero. Topspin from Adams. What a serve. Dodged the bullet.
That's when you know it's strong. You just gotta jump out of the way of that thing.
Get out of the way, or just take some bruises. Maddie Banks up for Austin. Outside of Eva Hudson, a little early, but she just freezes in the air. Who's gonna save this ball? Pinoy. Not sure if an Austin player touched that one, but it's still in play. Seeing Bria O'Reilly check the net before she sets the slide queen, and Asjia O'Neal gets the kill.
And that was one of the ones where Atlanta knew it was coming. You know, you could see both blockers kind of step over early to be ready for Asjia O'Neal, and she's just so solid fundamentally that it's, even when you know it's coming, it's hard to stop.
Back row attack, Madisen Skinner flying in. Not only getting the kill, but getting the kill off Pia Pinoy, one of the best liberos in the world.
Pretty solid move with no blockers up for Pinoy to even get under that thing. But if you're Bri O'Reilly and Austin, you're looking to kind of reestablish dominance, find a rhythm, you're gonna do that by going to your go-to players. Madisen Skinner, Asjia O'Neal, Logan Eggleston. Yelarova having a great match so far.
Logan Eggleston in serve receive all night. And she continues to pop out for her approach and gets the kill off her own serve receive.
I love hearing her talk about her mentality. She's like, I kind of just took it off the table. Like, it's a non-negotiable. I know I'm going to get served. It is what it is, and I'm here for it. One play at a time. She talked about resetting, whether it was a good pass or bad pass. Can I just be in the point that I'm in?
So Eva Hudson sees Bri O'Reilly, the center for Austin, dump the ball, but Bri still beats out Hudson. O'Reilly calling her own number as well. Eva Hudson, the 21-year-old rookie, number 27 for Atlanta. 6 rotations right now for Palo Coco. Not too bad for your first year in the pros. Slide from McCage coming in. Tessa Grubbs getting a solid touch. Logan Eggleston right down the line.
And this is what Love Austin wanted. They're putting more pressure from the service line, and they create easier opportunities in transition. Taking advantage of those free balls, running with speed.
Rachel Fairbanks at the service line. Going for Zoe Jarvis. Molly McCage. Defending the ball and then leading to another attempt for Logan Eggleston getting the kill. Here's someone special to Logan Eggleston and many Austin players. Jarrett Elliott, the Texas head coach, 24 years as the Texas Longhorns head coach. So he can literally say, I've been doing this longer than you've been alive, to many of his players. Eric Sullivan coached for Jarrett Elliott for 14 seasons. Said, I'm fine being the associate head coach. You can see right here the former Longhorns who played for both of these coaches. Eric Sullivan said, I want to learn from Jarrett. He gives me a lot of freedom. And in 1 year, Eric Sullivan became the USA head volleyball coach and Love Austin coach.
Big swing by Longhorn Molly McCage. I always think it's the best compliment a coach can get when his former players want to continue to have a relationship and talk highly of them. No one knows better than the athletes that play for these coaches, and just a legend of the game. He's had such an incredible impact on the sport and where it's going, and Texas has been really progressive in the skills that they use and train and how they train. It's cool to see all these pros here.
Yeah, I used to grow up watching Jarrett Elliott and his team when I was a kid. It's kids' night here in Austin. A lot of players bringing their kids in. Back row attack from Eggleston off the arms of Eva Hudson. Showing off in front of her former head coach, Jarrett Elliott. In his Austin team, taking the early lead here in the third set after dropping the second. It's League One Volleyball Game of the Week on USA Sports. Skims, the official loungewear, intimates, and sleepwear partner of Love. This week, we're excited to spotlight A5 Chattanooga, one of 88 Love clubs across the country, and they're proudly cheering for Love Atlanta this season.
Yeah, well, on the road last week, several A5 teams came together to a watch party at their hotel to cheer on Love Atlanta in their matchup with Love Salt Lake, a perfect example of that youth to pro connection that make Love so special. And the momentum is real. Already this season, A5 Chattanooga has 5 tournament wins, with teams having played in just 2 tournaments so far. A5 Chattanooga and Nancy Mueller is celebrating big moments, big wins, and so much fun ahead for these guys. Amazing work by club director Nancy Mueller.
Kids night.
That's what it's all about. These young athletes getting to watch these women compete at the highest level, some of the best volleyball in the world. Athletes that look like them, that come from where they come from, and other countries, saying, hey, this is possible.
Triple block against Madisen Skinner, and she still beats all 6 hands out. The defense is on fire for both sides right now, but finally, Maddie Banks able to put it away.
Well, this is a momentum game, and you can feel the energy and the focus from Love Austin right now. They're just being a little more relentless, a little crispier on these off-kilter plays, taking care of the ball and reducing their errors.
Oh, Mackenzie Adams, such a short set, just speeds up that approach.
Yeah, Rachel Fairbanks, setter for Atlanta, is so strong. She can keep that speed from anywhere. And we see a double sub, Ella Mae Powell coming in, Ivani Montano. This worked in set 1 for a bit. These two were able to shift the momentum, and they're down 5 here in set 3. Coach Paulo Coco looking to just find some sort of spark for his team to sustain these good plays.
Going back to that set from Adams, when as a former Olympian medalist setter, do you know when to set your outsides, a low set or a high set?
Yeah, well, when you're playing fast, it really is determined by the pass and kind of your ability to keep that speed from far. And both Ella Mae Powell and Bria Riley are so strong, and Rachel Fairbanks as well, that they can really keep the speed from a lot of places. But depends on where the pass is. If your outside hitter is in rhythm, if they're on time, if they're calling the ball, like there's all these little cues.
All right, well, kids watching, you better have written that down, because this advice is for free on the broadcast, but outside doesn't get any better than listening to Courtney Thompson, 2-time Olympic medalist, setter for Team USA. Thompson by Mackenzie Adams. USA Sports Game of the Week. It's Atlanta versus Austin, and it's 1-1 when it comes to sets, but right now, Austin's taking off here in set 3. Deep serve, Eva Hudson taking this one. Logan Eggleston, looking like she was born a middle blocker.
Good night. Oh my gosh, that is a block. Do not come here again. It's, man, incredible move by Logan Eggleston. And Atlanta, they're just not passing as well right now.
They say the same situation the other side. We are not having very good pass all the time. We're playing off the system. It's time to go deep. We have to play smart. No? They play one, deep for one, deep one-on-one, block defense. We have to help here what's happening this. Defense to go the game. No, you're not playing system. High ball, cover, block out, chip to the line, use the block for out, go deep cross. Okay, variation in our hitting. Okay, let's go. Let's go, Mira.
Paulo Coco telling his team, we got to play our style of smart volleyball. So if their pass is good and their space, they can hit hard, find some seams, but on these out-of-system balls, which means the set's probably coming from 15 feet off the net, Austin's so physical that they can't, Atlanta's not going to overpower them. So they got to hit edges. They've got to hit it to the deep corner. If they're going to tip, they want to tip to the setter or to Maddie Skinner to take them out of their offense. And this is one thing that Kelsey Robinson-Cook, 3-time Olympic medalist for Love Atlanta, Who was expecting now and not on the court? She did so well. And Atlanta just hasn't found that leader to kind of set the tone. And so what they need now is, again, that smart volleyball.
And Mackenzie Adams right here told us today at Serve and Pass that Palo Coco will force you to become a great passer. He makes you work on the things that your team struggles with the most. Like you said, one of the best trainers in the world. Outside to Eggleston, off the hands. So beating out the forehands at the front from Atlanta.
And Austin playing consistent volleyball right now. Atlanta putting their original opposite and center back in to see if they can get the momentum here. And at this point, they're down 9. Unlikely they're gonna come back. Atlanta's looking to find a rhythm, kind of reestablish who they are and put pressure on Austin.
Maddie Banks with a short serve. Back row attack coming in from Tessa Grubbs, kept alive for Austin. Very tight ball. Eggleston recycles, picks up her own blocked ball. And Madisen Skinner tipping right over the block. The crowd loved that one.
Maddie Skinner showing off her range. She's had so much success hitting angles from the back row. Takes advantage of Ponoy being a little bit on her heels, ready for that hard hit. Drops that into position 4.
So Paskova in for Atlanta, gets the attempt. This ball kept alive. Asjia O'Neal celebrating a little early. And Bria Riley ending the play early with another setter dump.
You can feel Austin right now playing loose. They're being aggressive. They're taking advantage on shots. And you can tell a team is feeling comfortable when they're taking smart risks. They're not afraid to go for it. The tighter you get, of course, the more errors you make, the more conservative you are.
Negretti back in the lineup for Atlanta. So it's a pretty good passing rotation for Atlanta. Negretti by Ponoy. Right down the line, immediately Paskova bringing that intensity.
Yeah, true vet from Bulgaria. She's been a pro for a long time, been in tough moments, and Palo Coco's looking for some sort of steadiness on the floor. Puts two of his veterans in, Paskova and Negretti.
Austin at the red zone, only need 5 more points to take the third set. Great up by Negretti. Paskova recycles. High ball. Oh. That is not a play we'll probably ever see again. Courtney, what went so wrong?
Yeah, I think Tessa Grubbs is going to want that one back. She's the go-to hitter. That ball is in a range where she could go hit that. And Palo Coco said today, man, it is difficult losing. We hate to lose. We're just doing what we know best, and that's just keep grinding to get better. And that's kind of one of those soul-crushing plays. Takes the air out of the building.
Back Tessa Grubbs. Outside of Logan Eggleston. That's going to be a huge tool. Paskova is that X factor right now, bringing the energy Atlanta so desperately needs.
That's right. Great swing off the edge. And right now, again, Atlanta's had moments of greatness. Set 2, they look like they're about to take over the match, and they just have struggled to sustain it. They got to find some sort of consistency if they want to win this match.
Slide from the cage, a little too wide. Atlanta keeping this ball at the service line. This one's going to be a challenge.
Sullivan challenging the block touch.
Austin is challenging that there was a block touch.
I love this competitiveness. They're up 21-12, and yet they want this one.
What do you see right there? I didn't think there was a touch.
I don't think that's enough to overturn.
This has to be indisputable video evidence in order for the call to be overturned. Last time, though, Courtney, you were wrong.
Shockingly so.
Shockingly enough. Okay, that's going to be Atlanta's point, so Eric Sullivan will lose his challenge right there.
Again, Atlanta looking to just play smart volleyball. If they have a good swing, go be aggressive, and if not, Be smart with where you place the tip.
Kept alive from Atlanta. Tessa Grubbs taking this one with 2 hands over. Molly McCage going with the slide. 1 blocker at the net. Hits Peanut Pinoy in the face. It looks like McCage considered going under the net to check on her and gonna let Pinoy
just
shake this one off.
absolutely blasted. Takes it like a champ. She's been there before.
Yeah, looks
Great
like she
response.
turned her face last second enough, so it hit her cheek. Yeah, Peanut Pinoy's fine right now. Face isn't even red. Outside, Paskova. Logan Eggleston. Tessa Grubbs doing everything she can to keep that ball up, but the offense for Austin was too overwhelming.
Just feels like the wheels are falling off a bit here for Love Atlanta. Can they get back to good? Austin just continues to dial up, turn up the heat. Madisen Skinner, Logan Eggleston making smart decisions right now. The runaway train of Love Austin.
2 points needed for Austin to take this 3rd set. And the ace is on Peanut Pinoy, who was just hit in the face very hard 2 points ago. Clearly getting picked on and serve received by Austin right now. This puts Love Austin at set point, and the fans are on the feet. Outside to Grubbs, tips this one deep. Short ball to McCage. Miscommunication on this set. Atlanta stays alive. So Atlanta probably not gonna win this 3rd set, but trying to find some momentum to take them into the 4th. Again, it's a win by 25, so Austin needs only 1 point right here. Madisen Skinner with the error. Atlanta building a run right here. Paskova at the service line. Mackenzie Adams front row for Atlanta. So ball rolling in on the court from the side. It's gonna pause for a second. The fans are still on their feet. Service error from Paskova. That gives Austin set 3. So Austin has 2, Atlanta has 1. It's best out of 5. So Austin needs 1 more set, but Atlanta trying to find some momentum for League One game of the week. Austin leading Atlanta 2-1 in sets. It's kids night here at HEB Center at Cedar Park. Courtney, familiar faces doing the first serve.
So fun. The children of Carly Lloyd, Julianne Fawcett, Storm, Carly's little girl, and Trey, Julianne Fawcett's oldest, and the twins. What a cool moment. These guys are some of the best in the world, and they're raising an amazing generation. They're best friends. They've been through so much on and off the court together, and for them to be the examples for so many women and so many kids looking to see like what's possible, it's amazing.
Carly Lloyd right here today at practice told us that her daughter hadn't decided if she was going to participate yet. And Carly told her, it's just a serve, baby. She said, well, I don't want to serve. And she said, well, it's just a game. And she says, well, I don't want to play the game. And Carly said that she did not get her stubbornness from Carly. Made that
wink,
clear.
wink, wink. Bronze medalist Carly Lloyd played at Cal, grew up in Bonzo, California. And
hey,
she got there for a reason.
Yeah, she came for the serve, figured it out. Very cute. Starting set 4 here in Austin, Tessa Grubbs getting the first point of the set. And Atlanta dropped the third set, but they did show that potential in the second.
Yeah, and they're just looking to get back to their game, and it's a little bit like tennis. I was watching the Australian Open this weekend, and you get to reset after the set, no pun intended, and reestablish and kind of start from 0-0, and Atlanta starting off strong with some speed.
So 1-1 here in the fourth set, Atlanta versus Austin for Game of the Week on USA Sports. But how do you reset your mind if you're Atlanta in this situation right now?
Yeah, I think part of being an elite pro is leaving the play behind you, the set behind you, just there, and really like, can I be where my feet are? Can I compete and bring my best and get my focus on what I need to do on this point to help my team? And the more you do that, the more you block like that. That's what Atlanta wants to see.
Yelarova focusing on keeping that ball deep but in. Not a block straight down, but a block that stayed in. Point for Atlanta. Tessa Grubbs at the service line. So her and Eva Hudson are still a threat from the back row together.
And I credit Atlanta. You start 1-4, I said it at the top, it's easy to kind of get in this narrative of what we don't have or what we're not doing, and we're seeing it right now. Like, this is resilience in action. They're resetting, they got blown out in set 3, and yet they're in the match. Can I just be good right now for my team?
Tessa just a little too wide, taking the error for her team. And they are going to want to stop Austin from going on any type of long runs to stay in this match. Molly McCage at the service line. Slide coming in. Point for Yelarova.
And that's exactly what Paulo Coco was saying. Hey, if it's lined up, if it's a perfect situation, you have a gap, hit the crap out of it. And if it's not, make the smart shot. So you're playing percentages. That time she uses a little throw there and ends up getting a kill.
Topspin by Adams. Almost an overpass by Skinner. Austin not able to keep that ball alive. That's going to keep Mackenzie Adams at the service line. Been serving bullets straight at Austin all night. Couple of aces, couple of missed serves. All or nothing type server, especially when she's doing her topspin.
Austin got 4 passers to handle her, and she's attacking Madisen Skinner. The one they added just to try to give them a chance. It's always a sign of respect when you change the strategy of an offense, and Mackenzie Adams doing that for Love Atlanta.
Austin calling a timeout. Let's listen to Eric Sullivan.
It's got to be good, clean contacts all the way around, right? Let's freaking go here. This is the stuff we just bleed points, and then we're struggling the whole time, right? Let's stop it. Let's fucking next play. Right, clean it up. Let's start getting crisp and put some pressure on these guys.
Let's go here. 20 minutes. Stay locked in right here. Let's go. Stay focused every single day. Right here. Shift over to the right. Okay. Ready? Boom! Austin! Come on.
And this has been the tale of Love Austin all year. They have all the pieces in the world, all the talent, great coaching staff. And yet it's that ability to lock in and focus and sustain that high performance that they've really struggled with. And we'll see here the new passing formation. that they're trying to use to get a clean pass on Mackenzie Adams. There's 4 passers back there. Madisen Skinner is the opposite hitter. Typically, you don't see her in the passing lane. But with such a powerful serve as Adams is bringing, this is their response.
Zoe Jarvis, perfect pass out to O'Neal. Tessa Grubbs flying in. Jarvis saves the day. Rolled over, Banks not able to cross the plane. Atlanta keeping the ball. And Eric Sullivan, head coach for Austin, told us that our issue is we'll be good for 5 plays and we'll be bad for 5 plays. He said, sometimes I feel we're just doing the most, that we don't have to be great. Our good is good enough. Your good is great already. Mackenzie Adams still at the service line. Madisen Skinner changing it up and going with the tip, getting the kill.
Great read by Madisen Skinner. She talked about how much she studies the opposing defense the week of and what she does to prepare so she has creativity in these moments and great execution on that play. Austin trying to find their rhythm here in set 4.
Rachel Fairbanks, her 4th kill in the match.
And when Atlanta's passing well, this is an option. She's doing a great job of taking advantage of that. But you'll see on a good pass, the block's so concerned about those hitters, they forget about Fairbanks. And for Atlanta, they got to keep the gas on. It's all fun and games. They're up 8-3, but it means nothing if they can't sustain it the whole set.
17 points now for Madisen Skinner after flying in from behind the 10-foot line. She's leading the gyms in offense. Again, our head coach, Jared Elliott, right behind her. Former head coach at Texas, for her at least. He is still there, 24 years and counting. Outside to Eggleston. Mackenzie Adams put that on her highlight reel. What a dig leading into Tessa Grubbs.
Big time swing by Tessa Grubbs, and this is how you lead a team. That's an out of system play in the back row. That ball's coming over her shoulder, and she takes an aggressive cut.
So Mackenzie Adams took a little bit of time to get up after that dig. Paolo Coco, her head coach, immediately going over to her to check on her. 6 rotation player, that means she does not leave the floor. Gives it her all, hitting at the front, diving on the ground to get balls up at the back. Rachel Fairbanks. Back row to Skinner. And nobody on the ground from Atlanta, Panoy or Adams.
Clean first ball side out. FBSO is what we call it. Bria O'Reilly doing a great job of using Madisen Skinner out of the back row. She's hitting so efficiently from back there. I wouldn't be surprised to see O'Reilly continue to go back to her as Austin tries to get back in this set.
Asjia O'Neal tried to pick on Adams in serve receive, but she handled it. That led into the offense by Oni Ofebu. Eva Hudson at the service line, the rookie who's 21 years old, got the match point for Atlanta's win. Atlanta called into the net right there, giving Austin an easy point. Atlanta still 4 points ahead in the 4th set. Atlanta and Mackenzie Adams right here has to win the 4th set to stay in the match. Tessa Grubbs beating out Logan Eggleston at the front and Zoe Jarvis at the back line.
That's an impressive swing. Molly McCage was over. She's fronting the middle, so she was closer to Grubbs already. 2 blockers in front of her, and Grubbs takes a great swing off the edge, that wrist away that we showed you a little bit earlier. She's a special athlete to watch. She talked about when she hits that shot, her shoulder actually dislocates and comes back in. It's like the Rookie of the Year, that movie back in the day.
Ooh. So we have a challenge right here. Molly McCage wailed the ball out, but
Austin is challenging that there was a block touch.
They're hoping they had a block touch right here on Magda. So you can see it looks like her finger wags on her right hand, her ring finger.
The crowd was calling that one.
That's going to be Austin's ball. So what looked like a huge error from Molly McCage was about as accurate as a hit can get. She was purposely trying to get the fingertips of Yelarova. McCage signaling her back row players where she's going to go for her blocks. Adams out. Great defense. Eva Hudson covering Mackenzie Adams, keeping this ball alive. Adams, little too strong, missing all the hands, giving Austin the ball.
You can see it, that's just a soul-crushing error for Adams, a veteran player. And right now, if I'm Fairbanks, I'm gonna run Yelarova far from me and set Grubbs overhead.
Outside Adams, covered by Piana Pinoy. Tessa Grubbs taking it with two hands, making the ball drop on Austin's side. So Atlanta able to hold on to the lead in the fourth set. USA Sports Game of the Week. It's League One Volleyball Game of the Week on USA Sports. Atlanta versus Austin, one of the best rivalries in the league, alongside two-time Olympic medalist Courtney Thompson. I'm Shelby Coppedge. Well, Courtney, talking about your scouting report presented by Chase, how would you rate how it's going so far?
Yeah, you know, Atlanta, I'm gonna go B-. The key for them is kind of blowing the roof off, like be unhinged, show that you can compete consistently at the highest level and bring your best in these moments. And they've had spurts of it, but as we've seen, they haven't been able to sustain that. And for Austin, we wanted some spicy serves. I think we need more spice. They've only had 2 aces. Atlanta's still at times controlling the passing lane. So for Austin to pull it out in set 4, they're gonna need to serve tougher.
Well, your key was right on spicy serves, but just for, it's actually Atlanta. So Atlanta has 6 aces right now. Been destroying Austin when it comes to the service line. When it comes to Madisen Skinner, she is the one leading the gym with 19 points.
And for Austin right now, I would expect Bria Riley to continue feeding Maddie Skinner. She's heating up from both the front and back row, and also those middles who've had great success tonight. And finally, the Black Queen is here. Rachel Fairbanks, who was batting 1,000, and finally Asjia O'Neal is ready for it. Responds to what she sees, a great run. You can see she's fired up to finally get one.
Waited till she turned to the huddle to get fired up. Adams, look at that flex after that line shot.
Woohoo! That's a statement kill. Rachel Fairbanks has a tight pass. And Asjia O'Neal jumped with her again, so Adams had 1 blocker and absolutely annihilated that ball down the line.
7 kills for Adams and 3 aces on the night for Mackenzie Adams. Asjia O'Neal going into the hands of Yelarova, getting herself a kill. Madisen Skinner at the service line. Watch out for her back row attacks. Short serve. So not clearing the net, but Eric Sullivan said that this year they're working every day in practice on the short serve. He said in college it's not needed as much, but his coaching and what he's looking at to be in the pros, he said the short serve's absolutely needed. Asjia O'Neal again going off the hands. This time it's off LOVB.
Great job. Even though Bria Riley's in the front row, Asjia O'Neal is not only the slide queen, but she's tough to stop from in front. Something they can do because they have a great opposite in Madisen Skinner. Great cobra swing by LOVB. But as Austin tries to come back right now, I would keep feeding that competitive engine in Asjia O'Neal and also Madisen Skinner from the back row, who's been so efficient tonight.
Rachel Fairbanks serving over. Bria Riley now. She's been coming out with the setter dumps of her own.
This feels personal between the setters.
Yeah.
It's kind of 1-for-1. You can do that. Watch me work.
As a former setter, Courtney, I know you're loving the battle at the net with the setters tonight.
I do. Selfishly, I do. And these two are so physical. There's such a presence at the net.
Eva Hudson going for the hands, using the block as their front. And again, she's only 21 years old. Said she had never lived alone until moving to Atlanta for love. Had 5 roommates at Kentucky. Said she turned into a full adult overnight. Eggleston. Been in the pros for a while now, showing that she can go off the hands too.
And Austin right now looking to find their aggression. They've softened a little bit. They've made some errors. They're being a little bit conservative. So they want to get back to having the gas pedal all the way down.
Adams. No way anyone was chasing that ball down. 12 points for Mackenzie Adams, 8 kills. There she is. Likes to warm up with the football before every practice on match day. Can throw a spiral across the entire gym. Eggleston, not sure that hybrid hit was on purpose, but it looked cool.
Yeah, kind of well, the only shot she had open on that one, and those are the plays that Atlanta really wants to have back. Austin's so physical and powerful. It's these off-speed shots that they really want to take advantage of. That one stings.
Perfect pass by Eva Hudson. Wide open net for Tessa Grubbs, and she goes right for Austin setter Bria Riley.
And we talked about leaders needing to step up for Atlanta. That's how you do it. In these moments, you can kind of feel Austin coming back. Grubbs taking a really aggressive swing. Fairbanks running an amazing offense there, getting her hitters a lot of space. That's the toughness that Atlanta needs. And this is where it's creeping in. We've seen errors at this point. So can they get back to good and not let that error bleed into the next play and the next play?
Atlanta has to win this set to stay in the match. You gotta win 3 sets. It's best out of 5. Austin trying to end it here. Out to Adams, she's way off the net, but she gets the touch. Madisen Skinner rolling over. Pinoy goes to Adams again. Perfect into the block of Madisen Skinner. Skinner hits the antenna.
Such a nuanced play right there. Peanut Pinoy has such a beautiful touch on the ball. Watch, she passes this, she sets this underhand, but there's still a rhythm to it. She bump sets that kind of fast, and Mackenzie Adams in perfect rhythm. That is a big time play.
Adams, top spin serve, Madisen Skinner. No way Tessa Grubbs was anywhere near digging that one up.
And this is why setting your middles is so important. You'll watch the Atlanta middle, Yelarova front Asjia O'Neal, and there is just nothing but daylight for Madisen Skinner, one of the best, most physical players for League One volleyball. That's a great offense by Bria Riley.
Outside to Eva Hudson. Fairbanks running into the crowd. And she's gonna say that ball was interrupted. I'm thinking we might get a replay. Running into the camera guy, so he can't see in front of him. His help protects him, but they're gonna call that potentially a replay. Again, the camera guy could not see where this ball was going. His helper helped him out, but Fairbanks is like, I could have gotten that one though.
Coco frustrated on that one.
Oh. Okay, let's go. Yes. Hey, we are already in the game. Okay, courage, let's go. Keep playing, keep pushing. Strong. Okay, concentrate on the serve. Let's serve, continue serve well. Let's go. One defense. Transit now. Good pass inside out. Okay. She's going a little bit to that side. You have to open. Forget the tip for this side. Open over there with the right side. And 2 and 1. She's gonna hit that. The hit heights okay, but she tipped twice from there. Let's go, side down.
One of the things that makes Paulo Coco so special, he's been in so many of these moments. He's a great teacher, also a great listener.
No, dig. Side out.
He's telling Rachel Fairbanks, the setter, and Tessa Grubbs, both playing defense on the right side, that against Madisen Skinner, she's gonna hit to their positions in 1 or 2. So play defense, don't come under for the tip.
Atlanta hoping to get to the red zone right here, and they do off the slide from Yelarova.
A great swing down the stretch. Can Atlanta make the change? Can they blow the roof off and execute here in the red zone past 20? Bea Negretti into serve for Yelarova. Negretti, not only a great server, but one of the best defenders in the league.
So Atlanta gets to the 20-point mark, what we call the red zone first. They have to win this set to stay in the match. Back row attack from Skinner. She is blocked straight down. Statement blocked by O'Neal Febu.
Love the smirk from the middle after this block. So Skinner's had great success, and Ofebu stays neutral and then jumps left. So you're kind of hiding where you're gonna take it. Great execution.
Asjia O'Neal switching it up last second, tipping right in the middle of the court.
And again, Atlanta just beating themselves on these plays. That's a very diggable tip by Asjia O'Neal.
Outside of Hudson. It's gonna be a touch called on the block, giving Eva Hudson the tool.
Hudson being pretty steady here down the stretch, stabilized the passing lane, has had a quiet night, but kind of getting these sneaky kills. She could be one to emerge as a leader as well as she tries to help her team close out set 4. The slide queen popping off, and her dad, Jermaine O'Neal, in the house tonight, 6-time NBA All-Star, one of the best to ever do it. And those two have a very special relationship. Asjia talks about how inspiring and supportive and motivating he's been throughout her career.
Middle coming in. Asjia trying to get the dig, and she does. Peanut Pinoy. It doesn't get more perfect than that. The defense is on fire on both sides, but finally Logan Eggleston puts it down. Jermaine O'Neal and the rest of the Austin fans are loving that one. On their feet, the defense, you could not ask for better digs than what you are seeing from both sides right now. Grubbs. Immediate response by Tessa on the right side.
That's it. That's the toughness they're looking for, their go-to hitter. You got Hudson back at the service line. This has been a good rotation for Atlanta so far. One of their biggest blocking cores.
Eva Hudson, the rookie 6 rotation player, staying in the whole match. Slide coming in from the cage. It kept alive. It's the Atlanta defense once again. Outside to Eggleston. Cross. Negretti. Mackenzie Adams tipping right over. Is it up? It's called down. That puts Atlanta at set point. If they can get one more point, we're going to 5. Paulo Coco continuing to give clear guidance while Eric Sullivan looking visibly frustrated here in the 4th set. Eva Hudson at the line. She got match-winning point for her team, their last win. Eggleston. Outside to Adams. It's crossed back over. Tessa Grubbs. Straight down. Is this going to be called in or out? It's going to be called out. Logan Eggleston getting the tool. Atlanta taking the 4th set. You could not ask for a better match. 4th game of the week on USA Sports. So we're going to 5. That means only going to 15 points here in Austin. Again, Atlanta versus Austin for game of the week. Each team has 1 win on the other, going for 2 here. We're going to set 5 here for game of the week. We're taking a quick Olympic break next week, but following that is Salt Lake versus Austin. Austin hoping to take a win here against Atlanta. We're going to 5 here in Austin. You couldn't ask for a better volleyball match. Big part of that, Mackenzie Adams on your screen. Now, she loves to warm up with a football before every single match. And Courtney, we asked her today, if you could compare yourself to one NFL QB in honor of Super Bowl week, who would you be? She said Brock Purdy. Mr. Earl Irrelevant.
That's right.
She came from UTSA, not a powerhouse. She said Brock made the most of the chance he got, and now he's in that starting role. And look at her. Last year made the most of it, became the best outside for League One. couldn't ask for a better story than Mackenzie Adams.
That's right. She's leading her team right now, doing a great job, and was the emotional leader at the end of set 4. For Atlanta right now, it's can they sustain that to get 15 points to take home this victory?
Fairbanks starting set 5 off with an ace. We're going only 15 points here. I said I thought Adams would be Josh Allen because everyone loves Josh Allen, even if you hate the Bills. Mackenzie Adams, a fan favorite across the entire league.
Truly, and her teammates love battling with her, just someone that puts her head down and works every single day.
Asjia O'Neal, the slide queen coming in, tying it up here in the 5th.
Atlanta starting in row 1, meaning Rachel Fairbanks is serving, and opposite her is Tessa Grubbs. So Tessa Grubbs in the front row for 3 rotations, try to taking advantage of their best attacker here.
Outside of Eggleston, tight ball. Rolled over, Mackenzie Adams, then Tessa Grubbs. How do they keep that alive? Eggleston hitting into the block, using it as her friend for the point.
And Austin's biggest opponent this year has been themselves. So right now, they're trying to get out of their own way, bring that intensity and focus that they've had most of the night to this 5th set. Eric telling his team, we got to get back on it. Let's get after it here.
Maddie Banks getting the ace on Mackenzie Adams. The ball dropping at the last second. Eric Sullivan said his team has been good for a few points, then struggles. Says our good is good enough. Eggleston, just a little too deep. Ball for Atlanta.
And so much of a 5th set is, can you keep the ball in, play smart volleyball, and who's gonna serve tougher? Austin's the more physical team, so Atlanta needs to continue putting service pressure on them.
Slide coming in, perfect up by Eva Hudson. Set her out, Jarvis steps in. Adams absorbs, but it goes back into Austin's side. Grubbs turning her shoulder like you pointed out, Courtney, but that ball is a little too wide. So it's out, but it's gonna be a challenge. Paulo Coco here is saying that Tessa got a touch on that swing.
Atlanta is challenging that there was a block touch.
I think that was a little high. I didn't see one. Oh!
I don't see it.
Worth a shot, Tessa Grubbs. You can see her say that to her teammates. Right now, Atlanta needs a good pass to turn this around, find their rhythm again. Austin's been serving tougher. They get a good pass, I'd be setting LOVB hitting over 600 tonight, or back to Grubbs.
O'Neal, the service line, goes right into the net. And again, we only go to 15 here in the 5th set.
Austin right now, Madisen Skinner in this rotation has been on fire. Expect to see Molly McCage going behind and Bria O'Reilly finding that bick. Skinner out of the back row.
LOVB. Outside to Logan Eggleston. It looks like she does a crunch in the air. She just hits the ball that hard.
Or that's such, Yelarova is so concerned about the setter and that bick out of the back row that there's space. Great offense by Bria O'Reilly.
Don't overpass Molly McCage. She's gonna put it right back down in your face, and she forces Paulo Coco to take a timeout with his team. Let's listen in.
Then we first good reception, then we think about hitting. Let's go. The reception is good. Fastball, jump inside. The reception is good. The back pass. Then wait, stay on the ball. That's the way. It's difficult to come because there is a pipe. You have to go fast, okay? Oh, let's go. Side out, let's go. Defense, go.
Coco reminding his hitters,
Wait.
there's so much urgency in the 5th set, but we have to pass first. Their passing has been breaking down. Focus on good reception, a good pass, and then worry about the hitting. And on defense, if you're blocking a fast offense and it's in system, it's a perfect pass, you want to drop inside.
It was so interesting talking to Eric Sullivan. He said it's pointless to be a good passing team if you're not a good serving team, because in practice, you have to see good serves to be a good passing team in a game. But Molly McCage, her team's used to seeing that block in their practice.
All smiles for Austin, and that's what happens on a tough serve. The block knows exactly where it's going, and they can load up and make that kind of move.
Outside to Skinner, forehands against her. Rachel Fairbanks shanks it at the last second. Another kill for Skinner. Skinner leading the gym in points right now at 21.
This is what the great players do. Atlanta hasn't found a solution yet. They're putting in Bea Negretti, try to stabilize the passing lane.
Atlanta keeping this ball alive. Skinner tipping it over and it rolls out. Both teams, it's a high pressure moment, but they don't look stressed. They look like they're putting the pressure on their opponent.
Yeah, Austin pulling away here. They feel like they're in control. Atlanta, this is kind of the case of the season. Like, they're so close, they look so good, and then a few plays here, and now they're down 4. So LMA Powell into serve. Ivani Montano into block. So they've got 3 hitters at the net. We call this a double sub. Paulo Coco trying to find a way to put pressure on Austin.
Back to Eggleston, what a dig from Powell.
Wow.
The way Montano just turned her shoulders at the last second.
Well, that's a tough swing. Montano from Colombia, she's on their national team, 6'2", opposite, not afraid to go for it. That's exactly what Atlanta needs to do to turn this around. Austin has been passing well. They want to continue that to pull away here.
Statement blocked by Magda Yelarova, leaving the Austin fans in silence. Eric Sullivan taking a timeout.
Is that a push or just Yeah. Let's go back to red. We're kind of set it red again, okay?
Come on, let's go.
Hey, let's go here.
Let's do everything here. Come on. Austin.
Rob Browning, longtime head coach. Assistant for the national team, in and out for many, many years, many quads, and telling his team, hey, it's a good pattern, let's run it again. You can either go back to Molly, or we've also got the red, which is that set behind Bree O'Reilly.
So both these teams have beaten each other once. Atlanta has only won 1 match, but they have come so close many times. We've gone to 5 here in the USA Sports Game of the Week. Mackenzie Adams adding another block to her stats of the night.
And just when you think Atlanta is out of it, this is how you build toughness, and they're executing right now. They have not been able to finish down the stretch in the last few matches.
Saw some Atlanta fans in the house. A little too deep from LMA Powell.
Atlanta right now has to lock down their passing. If they pass well, they have a chance to win. If they don't, there's no way. They're physical enough to compete with Austin right now.
A rotation called on Atlanta. This is the only time we've seen that call tonight. Detrimental error, especially in the 5th set. Paulo Coco not happy with that. Again, you only go to 15 points here in the 5th set. So one of the Atlanta players left before the serve happened. You got to stay in your base before the opponent serves. Quick response, though.
Yeah, it's such a deflating error. It's a mental error. They do this all day, every day. They just happen to be in the wrong position and didn't catch it. But great response by Montano. This has been a great rotation for Atlanta. If they can find a way to get a few aces, they're right back in this.
Mackenzie Adams, top spin serve coming up, right in the net. So Austin needs 4 more points to win this one.
And for Austin to pull away, they've had success when they get Atlanta in passing trouble, and then they go crush dreams at the block.
Outside to Eva Hudson, the rookie. Back row attack from Eggleston. Powell digging this one up. Montano getting the kill for Atlanta. Such a clutch time to do it.
Huge point for Atlanta. Keeping this score within 2, opposed to going. Oh, that's a big time swing in a really tough situation. They got to keep this serves in.
Skinner. Another kill for Madisen Skinner. She has 22 points on the night so far.
22 points. She jumped and just kept going up, showing off that 40-inch vertical in these challenging moments. No question why she was the MVP for Love last season.
Eva Hudson getting outside. This ball's gonna go out. Pinoy lets it. So Eva Hudson takes her pass, pops out for her approach, and gets the kill.
Atlanta's hanging in there. They are fighting and clawing right now. They're just so close, again, to blowing that roof off. If Fairbanks can bring some aggressiveness from the service line and Grubbs can turn a ball in transition, they could win this 5th set.
Fairbanks tight, it's going over. Rachel Fairbanks finds her middle again. Wow. Oni Ofebu, another point on her stats tonight.
That's a gutsy set. In the red zone in set 5, Oni Ofebu played that first ball. Right now, Fairbanks looking to get it on Eggleston.
Slide coming in from Asjia O'Neal, and she gets that corner.
Big time shot by O'Neal. That set was off the net, kind of out of rhythm, and she did a nice job getting to the corner.
Her head coach, Jared Elliott, and that shot in the back behind Asjia O'Neal, the former head coach of Texas. You're right, Courtney. Atlanta just refusing to give up and stays in it. 1 point behind Austin here in the 5th set. So you have to win by 2. We only go to 15 here in the 5th set. This is do or die. Asjia O'Neal coming in for the slide. Paulo Coco is not liking this call. He's warned by the upref to get closer to the bench. You can see how animated he's getting. So much is on the line for him and his team. Atlanta clawing their way all night for their 2nd win. They've beat Austin once. Austin's beat Atlanta once. It's getting personal here.
Coco thinking Austin was out of rotation. It was not called.
Paulo Coco is getting a yellow card from the upref. You can see the frustration. His team has come so close. Tessa Grubbs coming in, getting the kill. Again, it's win by 2 here in the 5th set. Tessa Grubbs put her team just 1 point behind Austin. Now we see Paskova coming in. There she is at the service line for Atlanta. No timeouts remaining. It's match point for Austin. And they get it. taking down Atlanta in 5. Madisen Skinner getting the match-winning point. 23 points for her. What a play, though. You see Paulo Coco on your screen. His team fought the entire night, took this thing to 5. Atlanta beat Austin once earlier. Austin beat Atlanta twice. Now this has turned into one of the biggest rivalries on League One volleyball. Madisen Skinner, classy move, shaking the hands of the refs. Now going to shake hands with Atlanta. Devastating loss for Atlanta, but the defense we saw on both sides was amazing, Courtney.
Both teams just giving it everything tonight. It wasn't always pretty for either side, but Austin just able to execute a little bit more. And for Atlanta, they're just knocking on the door. And you can see they have moments of brilliance, and they can, once they get through that threshold and get a little more confidence in the red zone and execute, they can beat anyone on any night. Big time win for Austin tonight.
Atlanta head coach Paulo Coco was the first in line to give his team high fives. He was talking to the ref right now, frustrated at one point in the 5th set, but he has to be so proud of the defense his team put up. Tessa Grubbs finishing the match with 21 points. Mackenzie Adams finishing with 15 points. Magda Yelarova with 10. And Onia Fabi with 14. So it was a great outing. Eric Sullivan, Jarrett Elliott together. Texas head coach on your left. Eric Sullivan, the head coach who was under Jarrett Elliott for 14 seasons. And here are your updated League One standings. Salt Lake still sitting at the top with Austin coming for them at the 2nd place. Atlanta in the bottom spot, 1-5 still. Their win was over Atlanta. The match-winning point of that game was by rookie Eva Hudson. And now we go to Bree O'Reilly. Bree, what are you most proud of from your hitters tonight?
Oh man, they were so aggressive. I feel like they made my job really easy. Everyone was really clear on their routes. I felt like I had so many attacking options all the time, which is something we've really been working on. Everybody getting on their route and being loud, because we have just so many physical athletes that we want to make a lot of stress for the other team, and they did that tonight.
Yeah, Bree, great job. It was so fun to see you move that thing around tonight. What do you guys take? I mean, Atlanta didn't back down. They just kept battling. You guys kept battling. What do you guys take tonight heading into the rest of the season?
Oh, man, I think anytime you win a 5-set match, it's like a bit of grit and confidence in your pocket that we can do hard things and we can win when it's really hard. I think we felt in control of a lot of that match. And then to lose that 4th, I think we just came out with the 5th like we are winning 100%, and I think that showed with how we played, and that's how we want to approach every 5th set and also every game.
Bree, on our screen, we can see you look across the net before you set, whether you set a hitter or dump on your own. What are you looking for when you look across the net?
Well, against this team and specifically, I knew that their middles sometimes are playing a game with me, and so I'm really just trying to see what is going on over there. They were committing sometimes, not committing other times, and I'm just trying to get as much space as possible for my hitters. So I'm trying to see what they're doing.
Amazing. Well, great job. Enjoy the win. Thanks for joining us, Bree.
Thanks so much.
Love Austin takes down Love Atlanta in 5. Eric Sullivan talking to his former head coach at Texas. Big win for Sullivan, the new head coach for Love. Again, it was League One volleyball game of the week. Logan Eggleston on your screen had an amazing performance. Again, one of the best outsides. USA Network game of the week. Austin takes down Atlanta in 5. Next game of the week is going to be Salt Lake versus Austin, taking a break for the Olympics next week. But Courtney Thompson, the 2-time Olympic medalist, and I, Shelby Coppage, will be back on that one. We're excited to be there again. League One volleyball, you could not ask for a better match of the week tonight than we did with Atlanta and Austin. Went to 5 here. Austin getting the home win over Atlanta on USA Sports. Big thanks to Skinner right there. 23 points for her tonight here in the win.